What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with NIO, Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. And break down what's going on with the economic calendar going into tomorrow, what the news is saying about NIO, and what you should be watching for as time progresses. But before I begin doubles information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Weeble link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Weeble and deposit $500, you are guaranteed 20 free stocks, and the offer ends very soon in just a couple of days. Anyways, for NIO, I just want to say that right now we're just kind of range bound, but we are seeing a bullish divergence developing right here on the charts. So there's some potential for NIO to try to push back up above this resistance at 4.5. So I'm going to be looking to see if we could try to get this break going into tomorrow and beyond. But whether or not this happens could depend on some data and some news, coming out for next week and also coming out for tomorrow. So I want to talk about all of that first before I break down more details. So as a reminder, tomorrow is going to be Thursday, June 20th, 2024. Please note that 1 hour before the market opens, we have initial jobless claims coming out, not to mention more data from the Philly Fed, from employment to new orders. Now, the new orders data is very important for inflation, so we'll see what this causes 1 hour before the market opens. And then besides that, we just have a bunch of build logs, just not anything else too crazy, at least that's coming out. For data, the fear and greed index is currently more on the fearful side. We're starting to see some fear emerging as the market's continuing to push like crazy, and we're still seeing greed making up the majority of sentiment. Greed is still what's dictating momentum right now because the market is going higher and higher. This is based off where the price is relative to the prior 125 trading days. We'd still be in extreme greed, but the overall sentiment is still fearful in some ways because of the fact that the market is just so high. So it's very, very interesting just seeing how the market's continuing to move like this. The puts and call option positioning is currently at extreme greed. We're seeing greed continuing to make up the majority of sentiment. We'll have to see how things go. And volatility, at least for the VIX, is currently neutral. So we'll just see what causes and what leads that to kind of like shifting. So going back to NIO, the all new EL8 is officially launching in Europe, making a significant milestone in NIO's brand journey across Europe. That's great news for them, continuing to expand, and the 6-seater luxurious SUV is going to help bring in a lot more sales. So that's great news for NIO. NIO's semi-solid battery state line is also seeing a 31% increase in their installations in May from April. So that's actually very, very good as we're starting to see NIO's systems being a lot more utilized, and battery swapping is becoming more and more popular as it's very, very quick and convenient for lots of users. So that's actually good news, at least for NIO. And let's hope that this continues to grow at least as time goes on. So they're in a very, very big market, and I can't wait to see how things progress. Volume is currently at about 30 million. That's actually a little bit below the 48 million average volume. And we also have a neutral rating from Bank of America Securities. We'll have to watch to see if this changes. Price price ratio is also dipping a bit as NIO is losing some strength. So the question is, what's going to happen to the share price? Now I just want to focus on the charts and also for SPY and the others. So NIO is kind of range bound right now, going back and forth. We have this resistance at 4.5. We have support all the way down here around 4.3. With this bullish divergence developing, I think there's a very good chance that we're going to be looking for a 4.5 retest. If this breaks, we'll be making our way all the way up to about this 4.67 area. And if that breaks, we could go all the way up towards the $5 area too. So we have this nice imbalance to fill all the way up here. However, just to be very, very clear with everyone, we have this bullish divergence. And I think there's a good chance NIO is going to try to rebound a bit and try to test our 200 EMA. So I'll be looking for a push for 4.7, and we'll see if we get a rejection or not. Now, even if NIO does get a temporary bounce, just know that the overall trend is still in favor of bears, as we've been on a bit of a downtrend. We're not going to likely get a massive move, the real big move, until we get to July, once we get the June deliveries data. So that's the next major catalyst for NIO. So for now, expect some consolidation, maybe a temporary bounce, at least for the time being. For a few other tickers, we have Aapl, which is forming kind of like a double top right here. We are kind of trading sideways around this 214 area. If we continue to fall, look for a test of 212 going into tomorrow. I think we're going to likely test that. If we lose that support, we'll be dipping all the way down to 210 or below that. If we break and hold this level, we could rebound. There's a head and shoulders like structure that's forming. This could lead to some downside. So this does favor a test of 212 and eventually 210. For the QQQ, we're on a bit of an uptrend so far. We're actually holding the hourly 20 EMA, but resistance is getting tougher as we go to these higher levels, especially after this bearish divergence formed on the hourly time frame. So going into tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if the QQQ actually pushes to about 486. We'll be testing this resistance. We'll see if we get a rejection back down to 485. We might just continue to trade sideways. We've been range bound for the past 2.5 days, so I think there's going to be a little push coming and some more sideways price action. That's the most likely possibility. But look for a little push to go higher. I think we're going to pump up a little bit and try to make our way back up to the 486s, only to just start trading sideways. For Apple, I'm sorry, not Apple, Tesla. Tesla has resistance at 185, support at 183. I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla actually dips a bit and retests our 50 EMA right over here around this 183 area. Then we try to rebound and actually try to bounce and break past 185, because even though we dipped off some bearish news, we did try to rebound a bit. So for tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if we dip a little bit, establish a higher low, and try to make our way back up, because this is also resembling a very, very nice accumulation pattern. And simultaneously, with this potential flag that's forming with the cup and handle, Tesla's also on an uptrend looking at the overall structure. So I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla establishes a low here. We come down a little bit and then we try to bounce and look for a little dip to 183, then a rebound back up. That's the most likely possibility. For SPY, it's the same thing essentially. We're still bullish. We could actually push a little, excuse me, we could push a little bit higher towards the 550 area. Going to be looking for more upside, so I wouldn't rule out 550. I think we're going to try to get closer to that. So look for a test of 549 tomorrow morning, and we could get close to 550. But once we hit that level, we'll have to see if we get a rejection or not, because resistance is going to get tougher. So look for a little bit more upside before we see a potential rejection. I think SPY will get a big rejection soon, but we're not ready yet. So don't make the call yet. As of right now, we remain bullish, so the bulls still have the edge, and the market could go a little bit higher. Nvidia is also holding up very well. It's on a very, very nice looking uptrend, currently at the 136 area. We're actually approaching this resistance all the way up here around 136.5. Resistance is getting tougher and tougher the higher that this is going, but I don't think that we're ready to sell off quite yet. It may take some more time. As of right now, the trend is still very bullish, and I think we're going to get tighter and tighter levels. I'm going to be looking for a test of 137 tomorrow. We'll have to see if this rejects or not. If we get that rejection, I'll be looking for a move back down to about 134. If we end up losing 136, that's going to be a one sign of weakness. But I think we're going to go a little higher first before we get that rejection. So look for a bit more upside first. For Bitcoin, we're showing some weakness. We kind of rejected off this 65,600 area again. It looks to me like it's going to dip all the way down towards the low 64,000s, but we have to give this some time just to see what the big move is going to be. We're on a downtrend on Bitcoin, so it's still looking more bearish. And I see a little bit more downside coming from here. It's about the mid 64,000 range. So I'll give it some time, just see what things end up leading to. The IWM Russell 2000 is also trading kind of sideways. I'm seeing some weakness on the chart on the hourly time frame. We could be looking for a dip all the way back down to 200. In my personal opinion, looking at the current trend, we are attempting to rebound a bit, but we have to try to break past 202 to turn bullish. Break 202 and we're bullish. If we fail to do so, we could retrace a bit. It looks to me like it's going to kind of pop to about 202 and then come back down towards support. And I think that 200 is going to be retested again. If we lose this low, we'll be dipping all the way down to about 198. So I'll be watching to see how things end up progressing from here. For AMD, AMD's on a bit of a downtrend. It's been continuing to fall and fall and fall. However, once we approach this key support around 150 and 148, I think we could see a bounce. So I do believe it's going to dip a bit more, but then I'll be watching for a bounce later on. For Coinbase, we're on a bit of a downtrend. We're actually forming a double top right now. So there's going to be a good chance that this is going to retrace back down to about 234. So we'll see if that bounces or not. And then for AMC and GameStop, just to be very frank with you, they're looking more bearish for now. We have to break above 30 to turn bullish on GameStop. AMC has to break 5.5. We haven't done that yet, so we're still going to be waiting. All right, but anyways, that is it for the video. I want to give you guys a nice amount of updates for a bunch of tickers out there. Just so you know, the market is still trying to push. There is still a bit more upside potential, but I don't think it's going to last forever. I think that the market will eventually get a rejection, pull back a bit, but I don't think we're ready yet to make that call. So as of right now, the charts remain bullish. So look for a little bit more upside going into tomorrow, and we'll see how we end up reacting to the key resistance levels for SPY, the QQQ, Nvidia, and the others. All right. So thank you for listening. Have a great day and peace out.